Hello, boys and girls. I'm very excited that we're going to be starting to learn about the formatting of a 5-paragraph essay. I want to spend today's podcast giving you a brief tutorial of what a 5-paragraph essay is all about, as well as the different components. As you are listening to this podcast, you're going to be filling out the note-taking sheet. The note-taking sheet should be used after you've learned about how to how to write a 5-paragraph essay. You're going to be filling out your outline for All Summer in a Day for our 5-paragraph essay. Except you could definitely use some parts of this tutorial to help you with your actual essay. So let us begin. The basic format of the essay is pretty much it's 5 paragraphs. The first paragraph is your tag, which as we know is a title, author, and genre, a brief summary, and a thesis. Your paragraphs 2 through 4, your body paragraphs, job is pretty much to prove your thesis, as well as your last paragraph pretty much sums up your idea, restates your thesis, and ends off with a bang. Until now, we've pretty much been writing formal paragraphs. A formal paragraph is pretty much a condensed 5-paragraph essay. Because if you think about it, a formal paragraph has your tag with your summary statement, your thesis, your 2 to 3 examples which prove your thesis, and then your last 2 sentences are your summing up and ending off with an interesting idea. So instead of having 8 to 10 sentences, we pretty much have 5 paragraphs in which we expand our idea, in which basically each paragraph is more of a focused set of examples. But let me explain. So our first paragraph is our introduction, and I know there's a lot of words on this page, but actually this is actually going to really help you with your All Summer in a Day essay. So first of all, your paragraph number 1 is your introduction. It has 5 sentences. So in your note-taking sheet, it asks you how many sentences paragraph number 1 is, and that you can write in 5 sentences. It also asks you what the name of the paragraph is called, and it's your introduction. And you start out with your tag. So I actually wrote a tag sentence for our essay, which we're going to be writing All Summer in a Day. You'll notice that it's in italics, just so you can kind of like differentiate between my heading and my actual description. But we don't use any italics in this essay because All Summer in a Day is a short story, and therefore short stories are not italicized like books. Short stories are rather put in quotations. So in the science fiction short story, All Summer in a Day by Ray Bradbury, a girl named Margot desperately wants to see the sun. Okay, I merely introduced the story in my tag sentence because I'm not doing a whole summary in my tag sentence because my next 3 sentences are going to be my brief summary. So I'm pretty much going to summarize the short story in 3 sentences. In Venus, the sun only appears once every 7 years. On the day that the sun is supposed to appear, several children bully Margot and she ends up being locked in the closet. Unfortunately, the children forget about her and she misses out on seeing the sun. Notice though that my tag and my brief summary kind of like lead into each other. I can't just write, in the science fiction short story All Summer in a Day by Ray Bradbury, William bullies someone. That doesn't say like kind of like lead into the story well. You want to make sure that the end of your tag really leads in nicely into your summary. So if you want to, pretty much the end of your tag could pretty much be the beginning of your summary, if that makes sense. And then my thesis, Ray Bradbury's use of figurative language in the summary greatly enhances the understanding of the story. Because what's important to understand, What's important to understand is that this essay, which you're going to be writing, is about figurative language. Clearly, we've spent, about a week and a half learning about figurative language. You're doing your book report about figurative language, and now you're going to be writing an in-class essay on figurative language. Each of your body paragraphs are going to be focusing on different figurative languages in the short story, which is why you spent last week filling out a lovely outline, a graphic organizer of examples of imagery, of similes, metaphors, and imagery in All Summer in a Day. You're going to basically be taking that information and be putting it into your outline. But I'm getting ahead of myself, okay? So in the first paragraph, I've done my tag, I've briefly summarized the story, and then I've ended off with my thesis. My first body paragraph is going to be 8 to 10 sentences, ding, 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 fill that in your note-taking sheet. And it's going to be focusing on the first example of figurative language, which is similes. Now, by the way, just going back to my thesis, so I wrote Ray Bradbury's use of figurative language in the summary, I meant story, sorry, that's a typo. Whoopsies. In the story greatly enhances the understanding of greatly enhances, I don't want to write story twice. So use of figurative language greatly enhances the understanding of the story. Now, if I wanted to actually be even more specific, I could have written Ray Bradbury's use of similes, metaphors, and imagery greatly enhances the understanding of the story. I don't have to, but I could honestly do either one. But if you notice, I did similes, metaphors, and then imagery because that's the order of my body paragraph. So it's important that my thesis really sticks with my body paragraphs. Like I can't write Ray Bradbury's use of metaphors, similes, and imagery greatly enhances this understanding of the story. My first body paragraph is focusing on similes. So my thesis always needs to be in the order of my body paragraphs. Okay, so back to my paragraph number 2. So this is my first body paragraph, which I'm going to be focusing on similes. So I'm going to be writing 8 to 10 sentences proving that similes really helps the reader understand the story. So I start off with my topic sentence in which I'm introducing what my paragraph is going to be about. Bradbury's use of similes enables the reader to visualize Venus even more than they would otherwise, okay? Pretty much kind of like showed you why the similes help. Then I'm going to write proof number 1. So my proof number 1 could be maybe that he compares, for example, notice I wrote for example, that's to kind of like give you a transition idea. So maybe my proof number 1, I keep on doing that, sorry. For example, in the story, the sun is compared to a lemon, a lemon. Also, and I'll do another example, and then also, or all the more so, I'm going to then show you another simile, okay? And then I'm going to analyze why these similes enhance my story. So through using the similes to describe the sun, it is easier to imagine what the sun must have been like to people who never saw it before, okay? So I did my 2 examples of similes. Notice how for my examples, I did not quote from the text because you need to paraphrase from the text. We're not like, just directly quoting from the text. I want to see that you have a real understanding of the text by paraphrasing it. And then at the end, I'm going to have my closing sentence. For this 5-paragraph essay, only for this 5-paragraph essay, it may be that you will not be able to write 8 to 10 sentences. It may be that you only may be able to write 6 to 8 sentences because it may be that each example may not be 2 sentences. Normally, each proof is 2 to 3 sentences, okay? In this case, it may be that each proof is only 1 sentence. Let's continue. Then, my second body paragraph is going to be focusing on metaphors. Once again, 8 to 10 sentences, okay? I'm also starting out with a topic sentence. Notice my topic sentence this time is different than my other topic sentence. This time I wrote metaphors are all used effectively in this short story, whereas my other one was Bradbury's use of similes enables the reader to visualize Venus even more than they would otherwise. Also notice how this topic sentence starts with the word Bradbury, and this topic sentence starts with the word metaphor. I don't want my 2 topic sentences starting with the same word. We believe in sophistication of language, and one of the ways that you make your writing sophisticated is by not starting every sentence the same way. Okay? I've introduced metaphors. Then I have my example 1 and example 2. Here I gave you examples of transitions, in fact, comma. Not only that, comma, but. One thing that you should know, whenever we write a transition, we always include a comma after the transition. That's why I have, for example, comma, also, comma, all the more so, I should put a comma. The only time that I'm not really going to put a comma after the transition is the not only that, because in that case it's not only that, comma, but. Then I'm having my analysis and my closing sentence. So I have my topic sentence, example 1, example 2, analysis, and then my closing sentence. Then we have my paragraph number 4. A different topic sentence. Finally, imagery is an effective tool for helping readers visualize what is happening. Example number 1, I'm going to write an example of imagery. And here I give you an example of transition. For instance, I need a comma. Example number 2, another example of transitions, furthermore, or moreover. My analysis, which is explaining my examples, and then my conclusion. And then finally, the last part of a 5-paragraph essay is the conclusion paragraph, which is only 5 sentences. In it, I restate my thesis, I sum up my main ideas, and I take like a takeaway message. So why does it matter that there's figurative language? What can I take away from it? So just to conclude, the basic format of a 5-paragraph essay is my introductory paragraph, which I have a tag, a brief summary, and a thesis. I have my similes, which is my topic sentence, proof number 1, proof number 2, my analysis explaining what we can learn from those proofs, and the closing sentence. Normally, each of that proof should be 2 to 3 sentences. In this case, it's not necessarily going to be like that. My paragraph 3, which is similar to my paragraph 2, paragraph number 4, which is similar to my paragraphs 2 and 3, and then my paragraph 5, which is my conclusion. I hope you enjoyed this podcast and you filled out your note-taking sheet. Have a great rest of the day.